So our attitude was, well, what if you could take the railroad and the train apart and put it back together a little bit different?
Robert Pulliam's tubular rails are trains that run through a series of elevated O-rings instead of on a track. What Pulliam proposes is to take an old idea and turn it inside out, literally.
We've put the steel wheel inside the rings. We've put the rail on the car itself, so it essentially carries it along with it.
Each ring will have a motor that drives a set of steel rollers, and these rollers will fit into grooves built into the train itself, passing the train from one ring to the next. The train is secured in place by 3 rings at all times, and its body will be reinforced so that it can never slip or break.
Once the vehicle is in the rings, it really cannot escape. It's much like holding a pencil in your fist and holding it tight. There's only 2 ways that pencil can move. You need more horsepower during the acceleration phase, but when you're at a constant speed, it really doesn't take that much energy to keep the vehicle moving. It's really the momentum.
Pulliam's design dramatically cuts the highest construction costs, the rails themselves. And tubular rails can be stacked on top of each other, so it's not just a space saver. It can be built with no interruption to any existing infrastructure. That means no more collisions with cars on the road or even other tubular rails.
You operate in the airspace rather than on the ground space.
Pulliam sees his tubular rail system fitting within a city and also connecting major metropolises. At its top speed, it could hit 150 miles per hour.
The 2 markets we feel that have applications are a high-speed market, something that you would have a vehicle running at, say, 150 miles an hour. The other market is the commuter-type rail system.
And significantly, the technology for the tubular trains of tomorrow is here today.
The key thing is changing the orientation between the rail and the wheel. All of the components exist.
According to Pulliam, it's not just changing the orientation of the track. It's about changing the way we think about trains. We won't just be jumping through hoops. We'll be racing through them at lightning speeds.